Hello everybody, the Lawn Gnome is here, and this is Up From the Underground presents Football Week 10. With me as always are my two fantastic panelists. The man who believes that a very stressful day is sitting on the couch watching Deep Space Nine, the notorious Mr. Beagle.
I resemble that remark.
And the man who is still trying to convince the world that tennis is not a sport, Captain Shenanigans.
It's not a sport, it's a hobby.
It's an activity.
Anyway, before we go into football, I just want to tell you all, faithful viewers, thank you for keeping your patience. Believe it was a real stressful week for all of us. So much to the point that I really wasn't even caring about what the games were going to be like last week. But you know what? We came through. We have our power. Now, if only we can get some gas.
You know, it was a relatively uneventful week. Relatively, to be quite honest, boring week. I actually was home and I actually had power throughout the entire hurricane. I watched Red Zone, and I wasn't impressed with anything that I really saw. There were very few things that stood out to me as being exciting.
That's true.
Except for the one ref that still left his microphone on.
That was amazing!
Game here. They're going to have another conference on this thing.
This button forced me. That was, goddammit!
Oh! I'd like to apologize for that. He didn't know his microphone was on.
Wait. It was the most hilarious goddamn thing I heard all week.
Oh.
Wait, am I allowed to say that?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, just in case you all didn't, the polls might be closing. Today is election day, so go out and vote. Your vote is important, believe it or not.
Unless you live in Texas, California, or New York.
There you go. I know that we were supposed to do a big thing last week with the bye week at the midpoint of the season, and unfortunately we're going to have to do a little bit of an abridged. So I'm going to throw out a couple of names. The New York Giants, the San Francisco 49ers, the Chicago Bears, the Atlanta Falcons, the New England Patriots, the Denver Broncos, the Baltimore Ravens, and the Houston Texans. Any one of you two wonderful gentlemen know what all of these teams have in common?
They're all leading their division.
They're all in first place.
Now here's the question that I give to you. Real or not? Do certain teams in this group of that I've mentioned, do some of them truly deserve to be there?
The Giants don't.
I think the Giants do.
They don't. They're there for lack of better competition in that division.
Oh, man. You're going to play that card.
Well, same thing can be said about the Patriots. I mean, they're looking like one of the worst teams in the NFL right now.
Yeah, that one, the Patriots are that team. They're the ones that basically win the division because the rest of their division is terrible.
Both the East divisions are pretty awful right now.
Well, looking awful at least. I wouldn't say actually awful.
The Bears are real.
Absolutely.
The Texans are real.
Oh, yes.
And we get to watch those two go at it Sunday night.
I'm
That'll be
excited,
interesting.
man. I
See
really
if they
am.
can exploit the weaknesses that
How
we've
about
seen.
the Broncos? You, Mr. Beagle, are one of the many doubters of Peyton Manning. What are your thoughts on him right now, good or bad?
He's definitely the smartest he's ever been. I don't think the ability is there. I think that it took a little while for the receivers to get used to him, but the defense has been there for him to back him up. The running game has finally resurged with McGahee. Is he the Peyton Manning of old? No. Is he still a damn good quarterback? Yes.
He is still great.
The point is, he's Peyton Manning, and
Absolutely.
I've said it before. I'd rather have a Peyton Manning at 90% than any other quarterback in the league at 100%. Because Peyton Manning at 90% is like 200% compared to most of these so-called quarterbacks.
The good thing is, when you think about it, guys, the Super Bowl contenders that we all picked are probably some of the most real teams, sans the Patriots, unfortunately. But we mentioned the Texans, the Bears, and we didn't really go into the 49ers, but those are pretty much the four teams that we all picked for Super Bowl contention this year. And they're all there.
That's actually kind of crazy.
I wouldn't
figure.
About one team that's been neglected, the Falcons. Don't read too much into it. What's going to happen is they are running away with the NFC South.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
The Saints are
3 and 5.
Yeah, 3 and 5.
3 and 5. The Panthers are 2 and 6,
They're terrible.
and the Bucks are 4 and 4.
4 and 4. Okay.
Buccaneers won 4 games.
So the Falcons will be able to lock up the division by the second week in December,
Easily.
and then they're going to go soft because they're going to be like, hey, this doesn't matter.
They don't have to win.
No.
That's
And Mike
the point.
Smith is not the most disciplined coach.
He's also not the brightest crayon in the box either, so...
He's actually been a lot smarter this year than he has in years past.
Well, at least he's not as cocky as Jason Garrett.
Or Rex Ryan.
Or Rex Ryan, that's true.
What did you guys think about that fact about Rex Ryan being pulled as the most overrated coach in the NFL right now?
It's kind of funny because Tebow was voted as the most overrated player in the NFL right now.
And who was the second one?
Mark Sanchez.
Very good.
Yep.
I don't think he's overrated. You have to be rated first.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think he's that bad.
Okay, and basically the last two teams, let's talk about Harbaugh squared, the 49ers and the Ravens. I have to give the Ravens a lot of credit for still being where they are right now, sans all the injuries, but Pittsburgh is right on their tail.
It's not going to last.
Yeah.
I think Pittsburgh will overtake them. I even think that the Ravens might even fall to third.
I don't think they'll lose to Cincinnati.
Cincinnati is a good team, and I was explaining this to my girlfriend actually on Sunday. Cincinnati is not a bad team. They just have the misfortune of playing against really good opponents almost all the time. And it's really reflected in their record. You know, I mean, you get teams, and you can say, oh, you know what, you can't really base it on their records because, you know, they've played 3/4 of their opponents had a below 500 average. And it's true, most of the time the Patriots' records are not indicative of how the team was playing, especially this year.
And I think the interesting thing about the 49ers is the fact that they suddenly slipped under the radar. Like, they were the talk because of the fact that they literally came out of nowhere last season. But even though they still have a pretty decent record, like, no one's really talking about them being hot stuff. A lot of people are really focusing more on Seattle at this point, crazily enough.
Yeah, because you know what? Seattle's exciting. San Francisco is like the Yankees. You know, they win a lot, and they win boringly.
Yeah. There's nothing exciting going on. I can agree with you.
One note I want to make about the Giants in first place. I still think our prediction of the Cowboys winning the NFC East will hold true. If you look at the Cowboys' schedule, none of their opponents for the rest of the season are over 500. None of them.
Yeah, but neither is, you know, Dallas.
Yeah, but Dallas dominates under 500 teams. They lose to over 500 teams. I see big things for Dallas in the second half of the season.
On that note, we're going to go to station identification. Captain, you know what to do.
Faithful viewers, listeners, same thing. Anyway,
After 10 weeks, you don't know?
it's the same thing.
Yeah, showmanship.
This is Football Goulash, and of course I am Captain Shenanigans, and I approve this message.
And just so you know, we are still working on putting together a Facebook fan page. We got the captain in charge of it, so I don't know exactly when it's going to be officially put together.
It's not official unless it's on Facebook.
So before we go on to the picks, as always, we have a tally on our scores, and yes, there is a belt, and it goes to the captain, who is grinning ever so wonderfully.
Damn right, Scully.
So our records right now, we have the captain at 77 and 55. We have the notorious Mr. Beagle at 74 and 58. And myself at 72 and 60. Still a relatively close score, but at this point in time, guys, I'll tell you, I take a look at this week's games, and I just see this season starting to go by the way of one-sided. It's like you take a look at some of these games, and you know who's winning that game.
You know, that's what happens the later you get into the season.
Yeah.
The difference I see this week is I actually don't see, I do not predict that many trifectas for us. I think 5 max, I really do.
For all of you wonderful fantasy football players out there, if you've got any player on the following teams, the Arizona Cardinals, the Cleveland Browns, the Green Bay Packers, and the Washington Redskins, please put those players on your bench because they are on bye week.
By the way, I'm 2-7 this season on my fantasy team.
Oh,
Ew.
what went wrong?
Hey, at least you're 2-1.
I just don't start the right people in the right weeks.
Kind of sounds like every NFL coach out there.
Pretty much, yeah.
Let's start with the Thursday night game, everybody. The Indianapolis Colts versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Who wants this one first?
Under the new head coach, while Pagano's been in the hospital, the Colts are 4-1. Colts are going to win.
I'm going to agree with that. The Colts have a 5-3 record, and they're considered very surprising this season. The Jags suck, which isn't surprising, and the Colts are still going to win.
They traded away Mike Thomas for almost nothing.
They drafted Justin Blackmon.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, everybody, Andrew Luck has been looking pretty good. He's really been connecting with his team, and he really seems to be putting a great game together, and he seems to look better every single week. So, guess what, guys? Holy trifecta. I'm going to go with the Colts.
By the way, the Colts, if the season were to end right now, the Colts had the 6th seed in the AFC.
Jeez. Go
All right.
figure, man.
So let's go into the Sunday games. I actually realized I'm going to be doing this from now on. We're going to start with the Sunday 1 o'clock games.
Thank God.
I mean, how I've been listing it the
Yeah, me
entire
too.
season.
Yeah, my phone's a little bit off, so whatever. New York Giants versus the Cincinnati Bengals. I definitely want to hear your take on it first, guys, because I'm still a little torn.
Bengals have won one game at Paul Brown Stadium all season. This is going to be an easy takeaway for the Giants. They're fuming after this past week. It's not going to be close.
Yeah, the Giants' special teams looked really special on Sunday, and I think everybody's pissed off on that. Eli Manning wasn't too bright and shiny either, so they're looking for a little bit of a easy beatdown, and the Bengals are going to provide that.
So Giants win?
Yeah.
All right, I want to make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still could not get over the fact that that game ended up the way it did last week for the Giants. I was absolutely shocked.
You know what? It actually shouldn't have been that close because
No.
of that forward pass fumble.
Oh boy,
Well, anyway,
that was
I mean,
interesting.
I love how we keep talking about how good the Bengals are, yet if I take a look at tape
They've got
from
a
all...
rough schedule.
But when I take a look at all the tape that we've done as far as all the past couple of weeks, we barely ever choose the Bengals to win. So if they're so great, why are they not winning?
No, nobody ever said
They're not
they're
gonna win
great.
yet.
Yeah.
The last few weeks of their schedule are pretty easy wins for them.
Yeah.
Well, holy trifecta, Batman. Giants.
Okay.
So, we're going to go to the Tennessee Titans versus the Miami Dolphins. I have to tell you guys
my
this.
God.
I am starting to steer a little further away from Tannehill every single week. Because I had been preaching that he was one of the better quarterbacks, but all of a sudden, maybe it's just because he's gotten beaten up a little bit, but he's just not looking as good as he used to.
That loss in Indy wasn't his fault, though.
No, that was the defense.
It wasn't really anyone's fault.
Eh.
Luck was just better.
That's true.
But again, the Titans, I mean, I don't know how they got those last few wins before they went back onto their losing streak.
I don't
mean,
even think they
don't
know
even
how
get
to
me
do it.
started on how horrible they looked last Sunday against
Especially
Chicago.
Chris the Troll Johnson.
Brian Urlacher manages to get points on the board.
Don't diss my boy.
Am I?
I love Ryan.
Am I?
40-yard touchdown.
Oh my god.
When that can happen, it
Amazing.
just shows you how truly vulnerable your team is. So
I snorted into my beer when that happened. Seriously, it was hilarious.
And you don't waste beer like that.
No, I don't.
I am actually going to believe in Tannehill just one more time, and I'm going to pick the Dolphins.
So who are you going to pick?
I have no idea. They're both pretty bad. This was contention for a coin flip of the week, but
You didn't do a
what
coin
do you
flip
say?
last time.
What do I say?
Yeah, what do you say?
I say the Dolphins have a horrible home record the past,
Yeah, they
5-6 years, and I think the Titans will pull this one out. I actually think Chris Johnson will have a good game, and I think the defense will actually stop Tannehill and Ben Bush, and I don't think Bush will have a very good game on the ground. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, probably 13-10, but the Titans will win.
Man, this is good.
Well,
Nobody
Captain-
said it was going to be pretty anyways. You know what? I think you guys may have convinced me. I think I'm going to go with the Titans, only because not that they're on a roll, not in the least actually, but they're going to win like a by field goal. That's it. Titans.
There's really no rhyme or reason to these picks. It's just,
There's-
yeah, this is one of those games where you watch for, a fan to streak across the field or something just to provide some entertainment.
yeah. Game of the
Anyway,
week to watch.
so let's go to the next game. We've got the Detroit Lions against the Minnesota Vikings.
Ooh.
This is going to be an epic game because you have one team that's a little bit on the downturn and one team that's a little bit on the rise, and they're going to meet halfway and explosion.
Explosion of what?
With Detroit, the defense is finally showing signs of coming together as a unit. Finally, Stafford and Megatron are hooking up and starting to look like their old selves. And you just get the sense that this team is going to do something spectacular very, very soon. And on the other side of the coin, you got Minnesota, who started out very hot. The two-headed monster that is Peterson and Harvin is doing a great job. Jerome Simpson can do better, and he probably will. But unless you have a steady quarterback, you can't win in this league. And I don't know what's going on with Ponder. I just don't know. He was good, and I still have high regard for him, but for some reason, he looks indecisive, he looks slow, and their defense is also slipping up a bit. Jared Allen only has, I think, 4 sacks this season, maybe 5. and that's a pretty low total for him. And just, overall in general, they don't look as good as they did at the beginning of the season. Who's going to win? Well, the team on the uptick, Detroit, in the dome. Well, it's funny because they're both dome teams, so there's there's really no disadvantage in that respect. But I think Detroit will pull it out. It's going to come down to special teams, believe it or not. I think Harvin will have a long return and then fumble. He is fumble prone.
That wouldn't be surprising, actually.
Truer words were never spoken. So as far as I'm concerned, I agree with everything that you said, Mr. Beagle.
But
these are two teams that are meeting halfway, and I am going with Detroit as well because I had been saying this. Stafford is good. When he connects with his guys, he's great. He's got a team that knows how to make him look better than he truly is. But I do believe that they are finally getting their act together in a division that is practically neck and neck, no matter how you slice it. The Vikings are having a good season, and the Lions are having a good season too. But I still think right now, I agree with you, the team on the uptick is the team with the victory, and the Lions will win.
Lions? I mean, seriously, you guys just covered it all.
But if the Vikings win, I won't be surprised.
Oh, I will be.
I would be, actually. They're not as good as their record makes them look like they are.
So, ladies and gentlemen, comment, like, and subscribe, and don't forget our channel, Football Goulash. So we're going to take a break from the picks and go to one of our segments. As always, we start with the notorious Mr. Beagle with a little get on the boat and get off the goat. And a stat of the week.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or wherever the hell you are. I am Mr. Beagle, and on this week's edition of Get on the Boat, Get off the Goat, we'll look at the highs and lows of the NFL from Week 9. For the boat this week, there can be only one. And the number one threat
Bears
are the Bears, who scored the most points in their franchise history since 1980 was the last time they topped 50 points in a game. You got a defense that has 7 touchdowns. That's only 4 behind the entire Jacksonville offense. Charles Tillman, just, I don't know where he went for the offseason. He just got a nose. You know what? I bet you he went to an affirmative action clinic because of the way he punches balls. No, he literally punches balls out of people's hands and makes them fumble. I think he has, 5 forced turnovers this season? That's a huge amount for one person.
Terrible nickname.
This defense is just holding this team up right now, and the 7-1 record is all about the defense. Now, if only the offense can come together, they have the tools. They have Jay Cutler, Earl Bennett, and Brandon Marshall, a 3-headed monster who all played together. And it's funny that they were in Tennessee because that's where both Earl Bennett and Jay Cutler played college ball at Vanderbilt in Nashville. And then you got, Michael Bush and Matt Forte, the crazy running back duo. The offensive line is looking better. They're still not good enough to protect Cutler, but he's one of the sturdiest quarterbacks, this side of Ben Roethlisberger. They're going to go far. I still have them as my Super Bowl pick. I don't think I'll ever change that this season. Look for the Bears to put a whooping on anybody they run into. And now, my GOAT. And Mr. Gnome, I'm really glad that I couldn't record yesterday because then I wouldn't have this GOAT. And this GOAT goes to Marcus Vick, younger brother of Michael Vick. Actually, you know what? I'm going to split this. This is going to be a 2-headed GOAT. One goes to Marcus Vick. The other one goes to Giants fans. Marcus Vick, you have no business tweeting anything about anything that goes on with your brother in his professional franchise. How would you like it if, let's say you were a construction worker, someone comes up to you, I don't like this, I don't like the way this guy's laying brick, we should trade him. You have what are you doing? And pretty much all you're doing is adding fuel to the fire that is the quarterback controversy in Philadelphia, and you're putting your brother in a terrible position because now everybody's going to think, oh, those aren't Marcus's words, that's really Michael's words, his brother's just saying it for him. No! There's only so many words that can you know what? There aren't enough letters in the word no to convey the no-ness of what you just did. and Giants fans. When the Giants win, you're like, oh, Eli Manning's the an elite quarterback. JPP with the sack. Yay. Corey Webster, interception. Ahmad Bradshaw with a touchdown. Victor Cruz. When they lose, oh, those rapists from Pittsburgh. How about your team not playing well? Why blame another every single post of all my Giant friend fans on Facebook that I saw Sunday night bashed Pittsburgh. Bash your own team. Admit when they do bad. I'm a diehard Jets fan. When the Jets play bad, I bash the Jets. I bash Sanchez. I bash Ryan. I bash Schottenheimer for years.
I think we all did.
Take some responsibility for your team. This isn't limited to just people on my Facebook page. People in my office the next day were bashing the Steelers. Were like, oh, the Steelers, they cheat, and they're a bunch of rapists and everything. That was the main comment I saw, by the way, is that they're a bunch of rapists, which I don't even get considering there was only one rapist. One out of 53. Not, and it doesn't even include the coaches. Well, I'm sure Todd Haley. Anyway, take responsibility for your team, please. Actually, there are enough letters in the word responsibility, but you probably are too focused on, bashing another Webster, the Webster's Dictionary, for making the word so long, instead of maybe, admitting to the fact that English is, your home language. Stat of the week. Guess what?
What?
It's week 10 coming up, right?
Correct.
So there have been 9 weeks to play football.
Uh-huh.
8 of those weeks, the Kansas City Chiefs have played a game.
See?
When the clock is running, they have not had the lead. The only win came as the winning score in overtime. So the clock was not running.
Yeah, so the clock actually stopped. Therefore, their time of
So
possession
we're referring to the Kansas City-New Orleans game.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
That was what, week 2?
Yeah.
So since week 2, the entire season, I don't even know if they led in the preseason, honestly.
Nope.
If there is time on the clock, the Chiefs have not had the lead.
Correcto.
I am the notorious Mr. Beagle, and this was Get on the Boat, Get off the Goat.
And a quite extensive get on the boat and get off the goat, but very entertaining.
I was full of ranting rage this week.
I
Very
liked that.
ranty.
We
I like
haven't
ranting
seen this in a
Beagle.
while.
You know why? Because I was all cooped up from last week.
Ranting Beagle is fun.
Yes, I do like the Ranting Beagle. That's a great name for a
Ranting
bar.
Beagle.
The Ranting Beagle?
Beagle.
Get me off the leash!
Anyway, comment, like, and subscribe to everything that you have heard.
I don't go
and
off the chain, I go
please,
off the leash.
I want comments. I want comments on everything we heard today, people. So let's go to the next game.
And more than just from Teddy Jets.
Hey, you can't deny a fan. Buffalo Bills versus the New England Patriots. Captain,
And what?
I just want to hear what you can say to me about this.
Fetch me the bucket, okay? Because this is going to be very puke-worthy. This is going to be very, 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 very boring. It's the Patriots. They're going to win by default because the Bills are terrible and the Patriots are less so. And every single Patriots fan on the face page is going to be like, oh my god, we're awesome, we're going to win the Super Bowl. No, you're not. You're going to win this game, you're going to feel good about yourselves, and then go away. Please. That's it. It's going to be boring as hell. Don't watch this. Seriously.
Victory?
Patriots.
Duh.
Yeah, that goes without saying.
Fun fact. I'm just full of stats today, aren't
I
I?
love it.
So, the Patriots play where?
The Patriots play
Foxborough.
Gillette Stadium in Foxborough.
Gillette Stadium opened for the 2002 season.
Correcto.
The Bills are 0-10 in Gillette Stadium.
Oh my god.
Patriots win.
Patriots win.
Yeah, that goes without saying.
Wow.
It's gonna be
2
a
words. I think that's the least he's ever spoken in his life.
It's gonna be a lousy, boring game.
It's a Calvin
As the
Coolidge
captain
moment.
has spoken, listen to him, people. Don't watch this.
Don't watch it, yeah.
You know what?
It's going to be boring.
Tom Brady may just feel so bad for Buffalo and have such pity on them, he may allow Mario Williams to sack him.
No, he won't.
They're gonna go back to the barn with their heads down and their tails between their legs. The Atlanta Falcons versus the New Orleans Saints.
Alright.
Somebody run with this, please!
Atlanta. I've been riding high in Atlanta all season, and the only reason I picked Philly last time is because
You had a senior moment.
Yeah, I did. Oh, just a little.
No Captain?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Atlanta on this one. The Saints are good, but their defense is hilariously inept. And the Falcons are just going to run roughshod all over them. I'm not going to say it's going to be the easy game for them, but in the end, Atlanta's going to score more points, and that's what wins games.
If I picked the Saints, would you call me crazy?
I'd call you Mr. Vane.
A little bit.
Okay, because I still do plan to pick the Falcons, just because...
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't really know what to make of this game. I really do not. I mean, yes, they're the last undefeated team in the league, but their competition really hasn't been that great, at least I don't recall. So I really don't know what New Orleans will give them. I mean, yes, New Orleans has a horrible record, but are they really that bad? No.
Yes.
Well, whatever. I'm still picking the Falcons,
Okay.
but I'm very interested in seeing what this game will bring.
I don't even know if it's going to be as high scoring as it looks like it should be. So,
The San Diego Chargers versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
This is an identical game to Detroit, Minnesota. One
Yeah,
team
pretty
on
much.
the uprise, one team on the downtrodden. San Diego's going down, Tampa Bay is going up. Tampa Bay wins. At Raymond James.
yeah, the Bucs are playing at home this week, and they're not wearing the creamsicle uniforms.
Do the shoot cannons when they score. That's awesome.
Yeah, that is
That
pretty
actually
awesome.
is
It's
pretty
better
cool.
than firing muskets at Gillette Stadium.
Or that... Well, the Vikings do have a Viking dude on a motorcycle.
I'd like to.
That's
I'd
pretty
like
awesome,
that.
actually.
Yeah.
That actually is pretty awesome. I'm actually going to go with the Bucs for another surprising win, because, man, like Mr. Beagle said, they're on the upswing, and you can't really go wrong with an upswing here.
But that's an interesting thing that you say, because I really don't consider the Chargers going on a downtrodden. I mean, they're a 500 team. They just won their last game, but then again, they did play Kansas City.
Yeah.
But I do still believe
They lost to the Browns.
That's
Well,
pretty
the
bad.
Browns
They couldn't even
had-
score a touchdown.
They had to win at least one game this season.
No, they didn't.
They won 2.
Yeah, that's right, they did. What do you know?
Besides, the Lions went 0-16,
Look,
and so did the...
These trifectas are making me sick, and these pretzels are making me thirsty.
That's
So
you,
on
bucket.
that note, I'm going to pick the Chargers because I just don't think that they're going to let the
Don't
Buccaneers
snap.
beat them. The Denver Broncos versus the Carolina Panthers. After a very interesting game that Carolina had, and quite possibly
Which I
may
call-
cost Barack Obama the election tonight.
Yeah.
Who wants to take this?
Take what now?
I'm going to go with Denver.
Oh.
You know, as the captain said, Peyton Manning. You know, Carolina had a good game against a mediocre opponent. They're not going to do it again.
Yeah, I mean, never underestimate a Manning. I had no doubts in Peyton Manning's return this season. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, to Captain Shenanigans' credit, what is Peyton Manning's favorite candy?
Oh.
It's Pez, because no matter how many times you crack that neck, something good will come out of it.
Ouch.
And as far as I'm concerned, that's all that we've been seeing this season. Sans possibly one game.
Yeah, he's been pretty impressive post 4 neck surgeries.
As
Yeah.
far, yeah, I'm giving the Broncos this win. They're leading their division. Ironically, I was one of the few that still had them taking the wild card in their division this year, and I'm sticking with the Broncos. That leaves you.
Yeah. Again, this one shouldn't be that hard to pick. Never underestimate a Manning. The Broncos are going to win this one. Cam Newton is going to start feeling bad about himself again. Because the Panthers are just not a good team. I mean, just think about it. If Eric Decker has another day like he did this past Sunday, the Panthers defense is just going to, like, huddle in the end zone weeping, holding hands. So, Broncos.
And on that note, we're going to pull away from the picks. Comment, like, and subscribe, but at this point in time, it's time for a little bit of lessons learned from the great Captain
I'm
Shenanigans.
starting to like this segment more than my own.
Thank you. Alright, I do enjoy your segment, though. Like I said, I like ranting Beagle. It's fun. It's emotional. I feel tears when it happens. Anyways, faithful viewers, listeners, Same thing. Anyway, this is your captain speaking, and this is lessons learned. First lesson. Atlanta is still the only undefeated team at 8-0. Prepare to start hearing from those bitter old men from the 72 Dolphins.
Who will send a bottle of champagne to the first team that beats them.
Yeah.
Just like they do every single year.
But they're still old and bitter, and nobody wants to hear from Mercury Morris anymore. Seriously. Go away. Go away. That's it. Let Atlanta have their 8-0 record. They've never had it before. End. Anyways. Lesson number 2. Is he the dumbest genius ever? Princeton now denying Jason Garrett ever went there. Joking, anyway. And Jerry Jones issues weekly statement about disappointment. The Cowboys lately have seemed like their entire organization is about apologizing to its fans. They keep choking and they keep losing these games, yet they always give the slice of hope pie. And with the hope that one day their team might actually not blow a game. I'm sorry, Cowboys fans, but that point is very, very far away, as long as Jerry Jones is still Jerry Jones. Actually, he's the new Al Davis, so there you have it. Lesson number 3. The Giants look like crap all of a sudden, and they'll probably still win the Super Bowl again. Because as long as the Giants look like crap, and as long as everybody says, oh, they're doing bad, they have this weird sort of penchant for having the world is against us, Silent Bob, type of situation. Yeah, mentality. That's where I was thinking. Thank you. They have the whole world is against us mentality. And when they have that, they play excellent. So there you have it. One game does not decide an entire season. Unless it's, well, the last game of the season. But that's not the point. The point is, lesson number 4. Andrew Luck and Doug Martin, and by the way, what the hell is Doug Martin, put up huge numbers to lead their team to victory last week. Let's all freak out about them for a few weeks before moving on to some new shiny thing. Seriously, I mean, you can't stop hearing about those two particular players and the numbers they put up, and it's all, I'm going to blame it on the sports media, because I mean, we see it all the time where somebody puts up, or a no-name player puts up numbers, and then a week after that you're like, wait, remember that guy? Happens all the time. Anyway, that segues into my last. Don't count out Cam Newton or RG3 yet, just because they're stuck on bad teams. They'll put up the numbers, they'll look amazing, but in the end, the news media will always find some new shiny toy to play with. This is your captain, and that was Lessons Learned. Thank you.
The captain has turned off the fasten seatbelt sign. You are free to walk about the cabin. Feel free to comment, like, and subscribe, and we'll continue. The Oakland Raiders versus the Baltimore Ravens. Mr. Beagle, I see you smiling.
Baltimore Ravens. As bad as they got hit with their defense, they still got a very potent offense. They still have a veteran defense, and they still have Ed Reed, who recorded his 60th career interception this past week. So the Ravens will win.
I agree. I mean, they are still stricken with injuries. I mean, everything that they suffered, they're showing some real heart and just trying to keep whatever dignity they have left. Of course, you got Pittsburgh right on their tails, but at this point in time, they're going to try and take apart every easy-to-defeat opponent that they can, just to keep that top spot. So I think the Ravens are going to win it too.
The AFC North might turn into the winner might be determined by some tiebreakers.
I know.
Could be. Wouldn't be too confusing.
Captain.
Anyways, yeah, Ravens are home. The Raiders suck. Ravens will win.
At this point, we're going to go to the 4 o'clock games.
Ooh.
The New York Jets versus the Seattle Seahawks.
No, I'm kidding.
Captain?
I'm a Jets fan, and even I kind of don't want to watch this game.
I want to watch this game for Seattle.
Seattle is one of those very, very polarizing teams, I've noticed. They're there to ruin your day. Whether you're a Jets fan or a Seahawks fan, or you don't even know what a football is, they'll ruin your day. This one's really hard to pick. I think the Seahawks are going to win at home, and the Jets are going to continue their unhilarious freefall, and Sanchez is going to put up excuses, and Tebow's not going to be put into the position he needs to be in, and Rex Ryan is going to huff and bluff his way off the podium as he usually does. So, Seahawks.
This was very, very tricky for me to pick, and I marked down one team, and I may go to the other one. If you can get a team coming off the bye, it's very, very tricky, especially with the Jets team this volatile. Will the Jets team, which Jets team will show up? Will it be the team that doesn't know what personnel should be on the field and will get lost and confused in the noise in Seattle? Or will it be the team we saw in the preseason that had several different looks, several different packages, several different Wildcats looks, runs, passes, and a good defense? I marked down Seattle. And I kind of want to hear what you have to say, Mr. No, before I give you my final verdict.
Well, you all know what happens during a Seattle Seahawks game in my world, but you know what's really funny? It is election day, so I may give our good friend Ike the night off. Here's the way I have to look at it. Jets are coming off a bye. Positive for the Jets. The Jets are going to Seattle to face the Seahawks at home. Huge positive for the Seahawks. The Seahawks riding the high horse. The seahorse.
Oh, man.
I did that purposely for your reaction.
Okay, that was okay.
Big positive. The Jets are struggling with their identity. The pressure is on Ryan, Sperano, Sanchez, you name it. Every single player and coach on that team has a target on their back for
Didn't they
ridicule.
just cut John Connor also?
Yeah.
Yeah, they cut him.
So, who is going to win this game? I'm telling you, I really do not know. The question is really going to be, who wants this win more? But as far as I can tell, it's two great defenses. As a fan, I'd pick the Jets, but Seattle at home is so strong. Seahawks.
Oh, man.
When you put up, we have valid arguments.
The problem with the Jets is that they don't listen to our show, so they never hear your lessons learned.
They don't, ever.
And they don't
It's
learn their
horrifying.
lessons.
No.
But,
They're kind of infamous for
You
that,
know-
actually.
my mind says go with the Seahawks. My gut tells me to go with the Jets. So I may regret this, and it may plunge me deeper into the hole, but I'm gonna go with the Jets.
Doe snap.
Well, let me put it this way. We're all Jets fans here.
Yeah, hey.
If you get this right, this will be a pick I can afford to lose.
Yeah, that's true.
I get this feeling in the back of my... Oh, wait, that's my prostate.
That's your medulla oblongata.
That's my prostate, dude.
Oh,
Medulla oblongata is in the head.
I know. Your butt is...
I sat on the remote.
The next game that we're going to look at is the Dallas Cowboys versus the Philadelphia Eagles.
Shazam. Yeah. This one's going to be interesting because you have two hilariously inept offenses versus two infamously terrible in the clutch situation defenses. Now, why is this a game to watch then? If you don't think clowns are funny, then watch this game. Seriously. Because this is going to be fun to watch. Not that it's going to be a great game, it's just going to be fun. Because not only do you get the once or twice in a season opportunity to laugh at both Tony Romo and Michael Vick in a single game. The offenses might put up numbers, only because the defenses are going to be... It's going to be a huge kerfuffle on the field. Will it be a good game? Probably not. Will it be fun to watch? Hells yes. Now who's going to win this game? That's a different thing. I'm going to say the Cowboys are going to win, because the hole that Andy Reid and Michael Vick have dug the Eagles into is nigh escapable at this point. They are in such a free fall right now, and the Cowboys, as I've said earlier, do give that sliver of hope pie to everyone that's rooting for their team at the current moment. They've shown signs of goodness this season. The Eagles haven't. So Cowboys are going to win, and the Eagles are going to continue on their skid and this will be loss number 5 in a row, actually, for them.
We talked about a lot of matchups this week. Not a lot, 2 matchups this week. About a team that's going down and a team that's going up meeting at the halfway point, as brought to the table this week by Mr. Beagle. I could probably say that this is a very same scenario. Even though the Dallas Cowboys may not have a winning record, every single week they look a little better, and they're closer and closer to getting wins, more wins than they really, as far as I'm concerned, they should have more wins this season. The Eagles are a mess. I really thought that if Michael Vick was going to stay healthy, and yes, I'm literally putting my foot in my mouth this season, the Eagles are horrendous. No chemistry, no sense of collective winning mentality. Andy Reid, I don't know what you're doing. I really think that the Cowboys are taking this game.
Trifecta. I'm picking Dallas Cowboys to win.
Ooh-wee.
The Eagles and Cowboys have very similar defenses, and they have very similar offenses. The difference is that Dallas's offense is better. Romo does not get sacked as much. He doesn't get hurried as much. DeMarco Murray is not as good a running back as LaShawn McCoy, but the receivers on Dallas are much better, and I think Romo's a better quarterback. And also, DeMarcus Ware, say hi to Michael Vick's helmet for me, please.
Oh, a lot. Please.
The St. Louis Rams versus the San Francisco 49ers. I will say this. As I said earlier in the broadcast, I don't know what to make of San Francisco anymore. They're just under the radar. Nobody's talking about them. From what I've seen, while the Rams may not have a great record, they're not looking bad at all.
Yeah, they look pretty bad.
But they're looking better than they did last year.
I guess a one-win
I'm
season.
still giving the win to the 49ers, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout game. I think. Are you okay?
Yeah. I'm still walking and talking and farting and stuff.
I still see the 49ers winning this game, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout. It's going to be an entertaining game. It's a division matchup, and those are always exciting. But 49ers.
I want to go with the 49ers as well. It's not going to be a pretty game. It's not going to be an easy win for them. Jeff Fisher will definitely put up a fight, but just the 49ers are just too strong to not pull this one out.
Yeah, I predicted a couple of weeks ago that, remember the London game, Patriots versus Rams? And what happened was pretty much how I predicted it. The Rams will put up a fight early in the game, but in the end, the 49ers will do what the Patriots did and completely run away with it. And I got to give credit to Mr. Beagle before. He said he equated the 49ers to the Yankees. They win, but they're very uninspiring. They're not exciting, and that's why they're flying underneath the radar, because they're not doing anything out of the ordinary like some other teams are. So, yeah, 49ers on this one.
It's like watching the Los Angeles Lakers of the mid-90s.
Ugh.
Anyway, comment, like, and subscribe. Football Goulash is the name of the channel. We'd love to get your feedback and your comments. And on that note, we're going to pull away from the picks and go to Hero and Bust of Week 9. This was one that I don't have a script for, and I really feel that this one is going to come from the heart because it's all
Not from the mouth or the butt.
it's all intertwined based on last week's travesty that ripped the East Coast and left a lot of people in shambles, lives lost, and possessions lost, what have you. Sports played a major factor in that time period, and here are the reasons why in Week 9. The hero, I could say so many things about some of the games that we saw, but the hero is going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Why? Because of the statement that they made. They knew that when they were coming to face the Giants in MetLife Stadium, they knew that there was a serious situation going on. And they made a statement. We are going to fly in the day of the game because there are people who need those hotel rooms. They were looking for a hotel room. So yes, you could say that they were a little upset that they didn't have a hotel room, but at the same time, when they realized that they didn't, and they saw just how dire the situation was, they still made the statement saying that there are people that need the hotel rooms. That is a fact. So, as far as I'm concerned, when you put the need of the greater good ahead of yourself, that says a lot about your character. The bust goes to Mayor Michael Bloomberg. He is truly not a sports fan. They canceled the Knicks-Nets opener at the Barclays Center. That was right. But when you took a look at the confusion, and believe me, there was plenty of confusion, and I was very surprised that they didn't even bother to cancel the Knicks game afterwards, as well as the Brooklyn Nets game. You could have at least had those teams playing the rival teams in the end in their own respective stadiums. But then comes the concept of, oh, there's no home field advantage. Let's take a look at the Giants-Steelers game. That game could have probably went in the exact same direction if it was played in Pittsburgh. And let's be honest here, even in MetLife Stadium, where the game ended up being played, the Giants did lose. But then we took a look at the one thing that he wanted to keep going, and that was the New York City Marathon. I'm sorry, there were people hurting. These people did not want to come out and see people run. Sure, there's money that would go to the city, $3.4 million. You could get that 2 weeks later, maybe. But you know what? In the end, he did cancel the marathon altogether, but I gotta give him a little bit of credit, but still. Sometimes it could be just too little, too late. Because unfortunately, at this point in time, we're still not back on track. As much of a good job as you're trying to do, it's still not entirely there. And I blame your judgment on the sporting events for that. Before I close this segment, on both of your segments earlier this night, you both did not say one important thing. It wasn't in your lessons learned, Captain, and it wasn't in your rant about the Bears, Mr. Beagle. You don't kick to Devin Hester! That's hero and bust, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
If people don't know that by now,
Yeah, you gotta
I feel
be
a
kinda
need
dumb.
to blurt it out.
It's funny. It's funny when you say it.
Interesting note about the marathon, by the way, is that several hundred runners did show up to Staten Island. Then went across the Verrazano Bridge and volunteered at shelters.
Which is the... Well, again, I wasn't blaming the runners.
I know, I'm just letting people know that they did that.
Yeah.
Good. So let's go to the Sunday night game, the Houston Texans versus the Chicago Bears. I know that I like to pick those outlandish games, but I did this once so far this year, and it was the Ravens-Patriots game. That was one of the better games that I've seen this season, but this one, where these two teams are right now, it is such an exciting... I haven't been more excited for a game since the Ravens-Patriots game earlier this year. The Bears look unstoppable. The Texans are showing that they are the real deal. Both of these teams have fantastic chemistry, but who wins this game? Everything you can say about these two teams is practically evenly matched. Maybe the quarterbacks. Maybe Schaub might be the X factor next to Cutler. I don't really know who I want to pick, guys. I think I may actually do a coin flip of the week.
Wow. That's something I would do.
Yeah, I mean, look. Houston, my Super Bowl winner. Chicago, Mr. Bill's Super Bowl winner. Former President Eisenhower.
So much for giving them the night off.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. It's just too... I mean, like, I would have probably went with Chicago, but then I said to myself, Houston's not bad. Heads, Houston. Tails, Chicago. Texans.
Whoa.
Okay.
You
Who's
may.
taking it? Oh, me? Okay. This one is gonna be difficult to pick. They're both teams that have looked pretty unstoppable lately, but when you take a look at their loss column and you see the numbers there, and you look back at those games, the teams that won them exploited the inherent weaknesses in both the Texans and the Bears. And they have different weaknesses, mind you, but they do play similarly. I think the Texans are going to win this one.
Oh, you know what I have to say?
What's that?
Win goes to the Chicago Bears.
No, snap! And
look at these two teams side by side. Schaub and Cutler are about the same.
Yeah.
The Texans have a slightly better offensive line.
Yeah.
The Bears have a slightly better defensive line. The linebackers are about the same. You know, Urlacher can't do everything himself. He needs help.
Yeah.
The running back situation is about the same. The wide receiving core is about the same. The special teams are about the same. They both have explosive receivers. Devin Hester for the Bears, Jacoby Ford for the Texans. The advantage the Bears have is their secondary. The 2 cornerbacks and the 2 safeties, anchored by Charles Tillman, is something the Texans do not have. And Cutler is going to throw all over the Texans. It's going to be a high-scoring game, but look for the Bears' defense to score yet another touchdown
I would
off a
not be
Schaub
surprised.
interception. And
It's
possibly
a-
a Foster fumble.
This is a very tough game. Yeah.
What? Stop it,
Jinx,
you
Jinx,
two!
you owe me a Coke.
I got one in the fridge. Anyway, I'm picking the Bears.
Okay.
In Soldier Field, even though I really don't think that'll be a factor.
No.
To be quite honest, Bears fans don't like Cutler.
I don't think anybody likes Cutler except his mom.
Cutler likes Cutler.
Well, yeah, that's because, yeah.
My
It's very
toilet bowl of the
William
week,
Shatner.
the Monday night game. The Kansas City Chiefs versus the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh my god. Who thought this was a good idea? Seriously.
Good
Who thought that a Monday night game between the Chiefs and the Steelers was going to get fans to watch it? Nobody's going to watch this. This is going to be depressing for everyone involved. This is also my toilet bowl of the week, and I will be staying I was just about to drop an F-bomb. I will be staying far, far away from this, as if it had the plague attached to it.
And who's your winner?
Oh god, do I have to choose? The Steelers are going to win by default, because the Chiefs are terrible.
I don't think there's any reason to say that the Chiefs would win this game. I'm picking the Steelers.
Yeah, do it. Pick the Chiefs. Be
Yeah,
it.
do it if you... Oh, I would love it!
This game. What was the last time the Chiefs played an AFC North team?
Who the heck knows and who the heck cares?
The Ravens.
Oh my god.
This
For reals?
year?
This year.
Wait, really?
Oh, the
Ravens
Ravens,
won
that's
9-6.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
right,
that's
and another
right.
crap.
Look for another similar game.
Ugh, this one's gonna suck.
But Steelers win.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
this one's
wraps
gonna-
up the picks for Week 10, and I'm sure we're all eager, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
What the hell is
8,
this?
9, 10 trifectas, guys.
Oh my god! Oh, we're only gonna have like 5 at most.
Well, I didn't know you guys were going to agree with me on some of the weird picks.
What
weird picks?
Detroit over Minnesota.
No.
No!
Tennessee over Miami.
No. That's not that weird.
I picked Miami.
Actually, that's kind of
Oh.
weird, man. Yeah, you picked
Dallas over Philly.
That's not a surprise. Come on.
Okay, you'd have to be a chromosomally deficient Philly fan in order to pick the Philadelphia Eagles for the win this week.
Are they all?
Yes, that's
What's
the whole
worse,
point.
having less or more chromosomes?
Who knows? I think
If
it's
you're
less.
from Philly, you're screwed
They
either
probably
way.
have like 60 chromosomes. So.
Anyway,
Well, that's why they're angry.
that wraps up Week 10, everybody. Football Goulash is the name of the show. Comment, like, and subscribe. We'd love to hear your feedback. So on behalf of the notorious Mr. Beagle and the Captain Shenanigans, I am the Lawn Gnome saying, your vote is important. Go out and use it.